Washington, both parties are gaming the politics of a Republican Senate proposal from Mitch McConnell that would give President Obama the authority to raise the debt ceiling without first guaranteeing the spending cuts that House Republicans have been demanding. But those Republicans, notably presidential hopeful Michelle Bachmann, say it's a non-starter. Florida Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz is, of course, the chair of the Democratic National Committee and joins us now. Well, thanks for joining us. First of all,
thank you.
What is your position, the Democratic caucus position, if you will, on this Mitch McConnell proposal to try to get away from the debt ceiling deadline and the connection with the spending cuts?
Well, I can see why Mitch McConnell and Republicans would want to back on President Obama, because the American people are very frustrated. They don't want us to deal with the potential looming default for the first time in American history of our economy and our debt. They want us to sit down at the table like grown-ups and work this out. And so I think the Republicans are realizing that most of the blame from their line in the sand politics is being heaped on them. And so McConnell's proposal appears to be a way to heap the responsibility on President Obama and wipe their hands of it. And that's just not responsible, and that's not what the American people want. And we need to sit down at the table, make sure that we can focus on getting our fiscal house in order, strike a deal that engages in shared sacrifice with responsible cuts and responsible revenue that is and skin in the game for the wealthiest Americans, and getting rid of subsidies for oil companies, and then we can really continue to focus on getting this economy turned around.
What about the rebellion from the president's base, from many people, from Nancy Pelosi on down, who feel that the president really undercut the House Democrats by conceding that Medicare, Medicaid, and ultimately Social Security are on the table?
Well, I haven't detected that rebellion at all. In fact,
are you talking to the same House Democrats that, I mean, are hammering us with complaints, are going public, private, collaring people, collaring reporters, all saying how upset they are with the White House?
Andrea, what we need to do is, the president proposed that we deal with this very big problem in a big way, and that Democrats should put all of our sacred cows on the table. We demonstrated that we're willing to put all our sacred cows on the table, and the Republicans are simply not willing to do anything but sit on their hands and cross their arms like spoiled children almost. And that's just not responsible. What Democrats want to do when it comes to dealing with entitlements is make sure that we don't end Medicare as we know it, that we don't cut benefits, but that we look at Medicare and Social Security in a way that can preserve the long-term solvency of those programs and not propose like what the Republicans have, which is to end those programs and yank the safety net out from under our seniors.
Speaking of safety nets, the president did say in his interview last night that he could not guarantee that he would continue paying Social Security benefits if there were a default. This is what Michelle Bachmann had to say about that.
We were all shocked and appalled that President Obama dangled out in front of the cameras that senior citizens may not get their checks. That's a very dangerous statement to make. We don't believe that for a moment. As we said, there are sufficient funds in the Social Security Trust Fund right now to make sure that they get checks. And that's the responsible thing that we as members of Congress need to do.
What's your response to that?
Well, it's very clear that the Republicans simply don't understand just how dire it would be for the nation to default on our debt for the first time in American history. I mean, the chairman of the Republican National Committee said it just the other day, that defaulting would not be the end of the world. Michelle Bachmann, who is running for president, and I'm presuming that she believes she's qualified to be president, does so by clearly demonstrating that she doesn't have enough comprehension to understand that if we don't deal with cutting the deficit and balancing the sacrifice that is necessary in order for us to avoid default, then the consequences for seniors, for members of our military, for the economy is going to be cataclysmic. There's no disputing that unless you're a Republican.
Debbie Wasserman Schultz, thank you very much.